Good evening and welcome to All About Sport on IrishwebTV. This evening we're in Virginia Rugby Club with Conor Walker and Helen McQuaid. You've had a busy year. What do you see for the future of the club?
We've got left this season. We've still got our under-14s. Our under-14 boys are in the final at Kingspan Stadium on Saturday, which is they've already won the league this year, so we're hoping that they can do the double, which the club hasn't achieved for a few years, so we're looking forward to that. And then we've also got all three of our girls' youth teams are still involved in finals as well. The under-16s are actually playing here on Sunday against a combined team from Cavan and Monaghan in the Ulster Shield final. And our under-14s and under-18s will be in Maharafelt on Sunday the 30th. The 14s in the also, like our boys, are going for a league and cup double in Ulster this year. So it's been great success this year for the youth.
So that must create a lot of logistical problems for you with transport, with catering and with training as well.
I wouldn't say transport's never a problem. So we'll stick in a plug for Noel O'Donoghue. He's brilliant there in Muller, and he always helps us out. I think the biggest problem we have with the number of teams, we have this season we've had 17 teams. Next season we'll have 18 teams at the club training. So our problem, I know you've had your drone up in the air this evening, looking at what we have currently and what we're moving into. Our biggest issue has been that we don't have the space for everyone to train, particularly when the bad weather hits, if we're going to try and look after the pitches as well. So what we've done, we've got 3 phases at the moment of what we want to do in the club, and we're just coming to the end of phase 1, which was, and you'll see on the video you took, we've developed a new free pitch training area, which I know Helen will tell you a little bit more about later. So we're coming to the end of that. We've levelled it. We're almost seeding it, and we're hoping by next season we'll be able to train a lot more in those areas, which will actually save our pitches. So that, if you like, is we're coming to the end of phase 1. Phase 2 for us will be, we want a new clubhouse. I think in the backdrop of this, you'll see what we currently have, which has served us well for nearly 50 years. But we obviously want something a bit better than that and a bit new, and again, that would actually cope with the amount of teams that we have, particularly from a training point of view, and particularly with the expansion of girls rugby as well. And then the final phase after we've got the clubhouse sorted out will be to finish off the area, to work with the local council on developing the car park and making sure that the whole amenity is better for everybody here and not just the rugby club.
Yeah, and Helen, we spoke a little bit earlier and we took some photographs of the development. Ladies rugby is certainly in the news at the moment, and I heard some saying that because of the Irish ladies team not being as successful as they'd hoped, but they're in the building phase now. But you have actually achieved some great results with the ladies in Virginia.
Yes, yeah, we really have. We've had a lot of our ladies represented in Ulster. We've had a few up in Railway, up in AIL as well, that have headed on, to kind of senior AIL rugby, and we've had Irish representatives as well from the club. It all comes down to our coaches, really. Like we have great coaching structure here.
Helen's daughter's one of the Irish representatives.
Yeah, she is.
She's too modest to actually say.
Yeah. They're doing really well, and it all comes down to, that we've built a lovely atmosphere here for our girls, and we really feel that there's a place for all of the girls, in our club. So there's a position for everybody, and that's what's great about female rugby, But I suppose one of the things that we want to be able to give them, they're achieving so many things, and they're representing the club and representing female sport so well, and we'd love to be able to give them, some nice clean changing rooms, facilities that suit, the kind of level that they're at, and that's one thing here that we're hoping will come in our phase 2, our new build,
Right.
That we will have dedicated female changing areas, hopefully in the next couple of years. But yeah, it's all going well, but the female section, our ambition, I suppose, is to have as many females training and playing as males, and we have a great committee here that is we all come to one table, we don't have any divisions in our club at all. We don't have subcommittees of this, that and the other. We have a one table policy here, so whatever the males get in the game, we also, you know, the females do. Accessible rugby is very important to us. So it's inclusion.
Right,
It's
right.
really important
But
to
as
us.
ladies in sport seems to be developing at a very fast rate, because a lot of the international competitions, the ladies pay for finals is similar to gents, which probably should have been, but it wasn't the case. And the ladies training is as intensive now as the male training, because they were saying, oh, you know, men and etc. and ladies, etc. But now at different levels, and you say that the Virginia Rugby Club is feeding into the national team.
Yes.
So the emphasis would be here on the club to train people, knowing that if they go on, that the training would even be more intense. So how do you work it from, say, somebody popping a daughter off here to say, we'd like to join rugby? Because there's a lot of sports now that are encouraging ladies to take part.
Yes.
And so you're in competition with some of the other sports. And why do you feel that you can say Virginia is the place to drop your daughter, and we would give her professional training and bring her to a national level if possible?
If possible. How do we do that, Connor? Well, from the ground up, you know, that's what rugby's all about, you know. So we introduce a new skill, you know, season on season on season, you know. So it's about developing from, you know, 5-6 year olds all the way through, you know. So we don't. Our girls come in at ground level, so they're training with the boys all the way through till they're 12 or 13 years of age. So there is no difference for us, you know. They train along with the boys week in, week out, and when they get to youth, then they separate into their gender, you know, female and male game. But you know, for Virginia, is our policy, that is one table. So, you know, the females are as important in our club and always have been. And that's why we've been able to, you know, develop our to that level, you know.
I think as well, it's not, developing someone to the elite level is not what we aim to do here. That's not the aim of the club. The aim of the club is to get as many people as possible, boys and girls, playing rugby for as long as they possibly can. And you know, if they're good enough, then they'll come through. They'll be spotted by Ulster, branch rep. You know, we have lots of boys and girls, as Helen said earlier, who've represented Ulster in the past and gone on to other things. So, you know, the elite side of it is a nice to do. Our policy is about, and what we do guarantee people when they come down is that if you come and train, you'll play.
Right. From walking around your facilities here, you have some very unique features within the development. You spoke about we have some of the board box and various other things and ecological features.
Yes.
Maybe if you want to go through some of those features, you know, that are important and in keeping with people's thinking really now.
Yeah, absolutely. So phase one, which is is over the backdrop here, is our biodiversity training area. So in conjunction with Quilter, the county council, you know, they helped us a lot, you know, to extend our grass space basically. So we have double capacity grass now, which means we can rotate all our pitches, we can include more people, you know. But the Greenbelt came on board with us there, and 3.5 acres has been developed back here with 3 training areas, but we've planted back, along with Greenbelt helping us, 1.1 acre of native trees, so over 400 trees, 2,000 underpinning kind of trees, 2,500 I think bulbs were planted, crocuses and daffodils and snowdrops, that's the word. Also, what else have we got here? There's along the pitch number 2 here, we have a wildflower area. There's bat boxes, bird boxes, bug hotels for the little bugs. So we're really proud of it. We're really proud of it. I mean, it's going to be a work in motion. Obviously, everything has to grow and come into its own. We're going to document the whole area here. You know, it's very unique, you know, for biodiversity, and it's a beautiful place for the kids to come down. You know, on a Sunday morning, the parents will be able to come down here. You can hear the birds singing there now, you know, and watch a bit of sport, watch the kids run around and have a chat and have a coffee and just enjoy Deer Park, because I mean, this is where we are now. We're at the edge of Deer Park.
We're always really conscious we're right on the edge of the Deer Park. We're right by Loch Rammer. We're eating in a little bit to what used to be the forest. So we wanted to make sure that whatever we took, we gave back more.
Yeah, we can see from the drone footage the lake in the background, and of course the training facility. But you say you're here 50 years, but almost 50. But the community support must be a great encouragement to you to keep going. And also, I'm sure that you have great support from sponsors as well.
Yes, absolutely. Only for the sponsors and the whole community of Virginia, but also our membership extends into a lot of other communities. You know, so people come down and they come into the Deer Park here, which is also, you know, kind of the next phases of our development will be that the whole amenity will be, you know, be in a much, it'll be bigger, safer, you know, open to everybody, you know. So that's the plan is that it's extended for everybody. So not only benefits the sport here, but benefits everybody, you know. Yeah.
Well, before we finish, if you would like, you have the camera here, and if you'd like to directly appeal to people who have family members thinking, should I go this way, should I go that way with sport? You have unique features here, and you have great success, of course, with the finals coming up. Appeal to families, direct to the camera.
You can do that, Connor.
I can do that. We need you.
We need you, yeah.
I would just say, look, that, you know, as a club, we love new members. We're a very welcoming club. When I first walked down here, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years ago now, I can't remember, I said I'd done a bit of rugby in the past, and someone handed me a bag of balls and cones and told me to get that. I was now a coach. So that's the sort of club we are. So if you're in any way interested, even if you have no experience whatsoever, we would just, you know, we would love to welcome you. We'd love to welcome your kids. So please come down and see us at the Deer Park.
Thanks, Conor, and thanks, Helen, for talking about the facilities and features I have in Virginia Rugby Club. We're joined by Fergal Brady, one of the coaches. Maybe you'd elaborate on your role within the Virginia Rugby Club.
Well, I'm lucky enough and privileged enough to be one of the 3 coaches of Virginia under-14s. I'm part of the development committee to try and drive on the club. So I'm a busy boy up here, yeah. But the under-14s, we're going well. We're league winners at under-14 at the Premier level. And next Saturday we've the small task of going to Ravenhill to try and win the Ulster Cup and the Ulster Carpets Cup final.
Ireland, of course, #1 in the world, so you have
We're just a little bit behind that, yeah. But we'll give it a go. Yeah, Irish rugby is in tremendous position at the minute. Like, you have the 4 provinces in the top 10 in the URC and fighting hard for European competitions as well. You have Leinster that's kind of blowing every way. Ulster are sitting second in it as well, and results went very well for them at the weekend. So yeah, it's a great place to be at the standard of rugby in Ireland now.
While people sit in their armchairs watching Ireland being so successful at rugby, but what has to be remembered is that they all started at a club somewhere in Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it all starts. You know, we're very lucky here. We're the biggest youth club in Ulster. We have nearly 22 teams, all training hard, and then obviously that doesn't happen by accident. We have a trove of volunteers and coaches at all levels. You know, we're very successful in ladies as well. Tomorrow here we have Sunday we have Ulster under-16s plate final, and it's Virginia against the might of Cavan and Monaghan together, so they're coming down to beat our under-16 girls, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So.
Yeah, and Helen was telling me earlier that it turned out to be her daughter is part of the Irish team.
Yeah, she got into the Irish squad. She was unlucky with injury and stuff like that, but she's getting back to where she belongs. Yeah, it's brilliant. But like the guys here as well, like we have 4 of this squad there that's behind us there and picked for the Ulster under-16s training camp during the summer and stuff like that. And then we have even one guy at that behind you there is knocking on the door of the 17 side. So he's playing up 2 years. So yeah, it's a great position to be in, and long may it continue. but it doesn't happen by accident. There's a lot of work put in by a lot of people. The 3 coaches here, we've brought these guys up since they've been 6 years old, so we've 8 years in these guys. So when I started a long time ago here, there was no coach, and we had one boggy field, and we just kind of came up and we didn't know what we were doing really. So from where we were to where we are now, but obviously you step on the shoulders of the guys that went before you and you try and improve and stuff like that. So again, it's nice to be in this position. This is where we wanted to be. This is where we want to be in the start of the season. But again, we're playing Ballynahinch, who are an AIL club in the top division in Ulster, and we are very far away from that. So they have been unbeaten all season. So we're going up there very much underdogs. But that's a nice place to be. I would rather be underdog than be the favourite. But let's go. It'll be fun.
But of course, there are other sports competing for the personnel that you're aiming for. So can you sort of outline how unique you are here in Virginia that will allow great facilities with the opportunity to advance maybe within the sport?
Well, as a coach, I'm sometimes delighted by the guy that's maybe not on the field, because we've brought him on so far. I got a phone call earlier on in the season from a parent, and when a coach gets a phone call from the parent, usually it's not good, but this parent just thanked me, because her boy had come inside out. He had got confidence and stuff like that. Now, the first day or two that he came down here, he couldn't catch a ball, but we just brought him along. He's not going to be a world beater, but he's our club man, and maybe in 10 years' time he could be here being interviewed. You don't know. When I started, I was no good. So, but the good thing about rugby is different shapes and sizes. We don't need a skinny, long, tall player, maybe like in basketball or maybe like in central midfield in Gaelic, but we sometimes like a bit of beef, and we can work with that. And I've seen players transform here, you know what I mean, because they were maybe 1 or 2 of the last picked on some of the other teams because they couldn't maybe run as fast, but maybe they had a bit of beef on them. But I can use beef, and I can use speed, and I can use length, and I can use pace. So You come down here, I'll get a spot for you.
Right. Rugby is probably unique in a sense in that some of the other sports, just maybe a single type of person is adequate.
Absolutely,
but you have a number of different strands within the game itself that can accommodate people of different, as you say, different statures and different skill levels and different speed and all the different.
Absolutely. One of the coach that started youth rugby here was Malachy McNally, and I seen him taking a player who basically came on the field like this, because he was so used to not being picked,
right?
And he was the second picked on the team, and he embraced it, and then he went on and he played for under 18 Ireland clubs team. His jersey's on the wall in there, so that's where that guy started from. So I would say anyone that's watching this, come on down, give it a try. We are at the end of our season now, but watch the papers, watch Facebook, watch Calvin TV. When we're starting again, we'll be shouting, we want players, every shape, size, every age, every colour, every creed. Get down here and let's have a bit of fun. That's what it's all about,
Well, your success is obviously based on hard work and great commitment from the community, and of course I'm sure your sponsors help as well.
Well, we're indebted to the sponsors. Without them this can't happen, because it takes easily about 80 or 90,000 euros to run this club a year, and like we're new, we don't have all the streams of income maybe that the established clubs of over 200 years have and stuff like that, because basically my son's out there playing and the other two coaches' sons are out playing, but that's the first generation of, say, daddies and sons that's come through, and mammies and daughters that have come through. But in maybe another 20 years there'll be more of that, and then there'll be grandfathers that have played, watching their grandson play, and that he played for the club. So that's where you want to get to,
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me here on Calvin TV on All About Sport. It's a great facility. Wish you every success in the upcoming final, plus the ladies as well. And so that's it from Virginia Rugby Club and All About Sport on IrishwebTV.